You're stupid. 4 years of Kamala Harris have delivered nothing but economic hell for American workers. Her inflation disaster has made life unaffordable and cost families over $30,000. Think of it, $30,000. You know why? Because of inflation, the higher prices. You can't afford it. Bacon, sausages, eggs, apples. You know, when people talk to me, and I talk to as many people as I can because they know more than our genius experts who are bullshit. Okay. You go to the little lady that's buying 3 apples, goes to the counter, and then realizes the price has gone up by 40% and she can only afford 2 apples. And she walks an apple back and she walks out with 2 apples. She understands very well, and that should never happen in our country. That happens a lot. They go in and they buy 2 bananas, and this should never be happening in our country. And it's happening because we have both corrupt and stupid leaders. You have combinations of stupidity, and sometimes it overflows. But you have some very stupid people in this country, and you also have some very, very corrupt people that benefit by this. They benefit by letting China rip us off. You know, I took in hundreds of billions of dollars in taxes and tariffs from China, and I'm the only one that ever did it. They've been ripping us off for years. We rebuilt their military. I mean, we're losing, now we're losing numbers that nobody even believes, but we lose to China $500 billion a year. When I came in, it was $509 billion. That was the deficit with China. We were losing numbers that were not even, now it's over $1 trillion we give them. And then you wonder, gee, they're building a lot of ships, a lot of planes. Most beautiful plane that I've ever seen is the F-22, but we don't make it anymore because it's too expensive. And you know what? You know who makes it? I saw it. I said, of course you make it. I saw one the other day. Sir, that was made by China. They copied the sucker. I mean, we don't make it. We don't make it. We got to get smart. We got to get smart. Just this week, we had the worst jobs report in modern history. This was done by sleepy/crooked Joe Biden and Kamala. You know, who knows with her? Nobody even knows. You know, we like to say, oh, she was, I don't know if she was, she probably wasn't too involved in it because she wasn't involved in anything. She's lazy as hell. But, you know, they all say, sir, make sure that you only say Kamala. Well, you know, it's probably him more. But she was there. If she was any good, she would have said, Joe, you got a mental problem. You don't have any more. Let me handle things, Joe. Let me handle things. You're out of it, Joe. She didn't say, she said just the opposite. I've never seen there was never an indication that he's mentally shot. I've never seen anything. Well, she's lying. You saw that with the debate. Even I had a thing, I wasn't going to look at him. And I finally had to go like, what? I had to look. I just had to. I couldn't hold it. I looked. I said, what the hell is going on over there? But he had a bad debate. But, you know, that's okay. You can't take it away. You have to go through a process. You can't just say, you're out of here, Joe. You're out. That's what they did. After the debate, they went in, they just took it away. You can't do that. But we have, and these numbers that I'm going to tell you are the worst. This is like a depression. And they're devastated. They don't want to talk about it because, you know, they've had a couple of things happen that are incredible. One of the things is that these numbers were announced yesterday, and they thought they were going to be able to hold them till after the election. Because these numbers would not allow anybody to vote for a woman of not high intelligence, to put it mildly. I'm being extremely nice when I say it that way. These numbers are depression-style numbers. I mean, not recession. These aren't recessionary numbers. And I know a lot about this stuff. I was a wonderful, wonderful student at the Wharton School of Finance. I did great. Made a lot of money, I made so much money. It's crazy. and made a lot of money, and I understand money, and I don't say that's, it's been something that works for me. And other people have other abilities, but I know this stuff. It's sort of easy for me. And our country's in financial trouble. We could have a depression. And this was just announced, and they're devastated. I know a lot of people in the White House, they're devastated that these numbers came out. They did another thing that's sort of related. 2.5 months ago, they said they had 818,000, that's a lot, 800, almost a million, 800 exactly, and 18,000 new jobs. And you know what? It was a fraud. They had no new jobs. And then just last month, they said they had 112,000 new jobs, and that was corrected and revised. But they thought that all of this would be revised right after the election. They were having a hard time holding it in because people know you have a lot of good people in our country, and they know what's going on, and they're working in statistics departments and different departments. They see what's going on. You can't really hide it if you have honest people. And we had people that came out and said, a whistleblower, I assume it was, and he came out and said that the almost 1 million jobs that they added fraudulently into our employment numbers were fake. They're fake. And the press barely reported it because they're fake. They're worse than the politicians. Honestly, they're worse than the politicians. They're worse than the politicians. And they're being caught. That's why their approval ratings are so low. They're being caught. I think it was a great thing I did for the country, because I don't think before I came along, nobody talked this way. But they're fake. And we need a fair press. And we don't need a ruthless press. We need a fair press. And sometimes that will be ruthless. But they didn't report this or barely reported it. So they fraudulently put in fake job numbers. And the information was supposed to come out after the election. In other words, any time after 3 days from now, because then it wouldn't have mattered too much to them. And a whistleblower blew it up and released the information. And I want to just tell you that what they've done, so you add the 112,000, so you're talking about almost 1 million jobs were fake. Now, here's the difference. If they had those 1 million jobs, you would have said they did a nice job. Not great, by the way, because you're starting from a depression base. You're starting from where these numbers are, where the real numbers are that just got released yesterday. Also, they wanted to hold these numbers till after, because these numbers are worse than the 818,000 fraudulent job numbers. With only 12,000 jobs were created. That's a depression. Listen to this. 30,000 private sector jobs were killed in a single month, and nearly 100,000 manufacturing jobs were wiped out since the beginning of the year. 100. Those are sort of our prime jobs, I think. We got a lot of prime jobs, but manufacturing, that's where you make money for the country. You make product, you sell the product to other countries. We lost a lot. We've been losing so much. But these are depression-type numbers, and that's where we're heading. And I always said, I don't want to be Herbert Hoover. People tell me, what would you like? I said, the one thing I don't want to be Herbert Hoover, because he was the president when the Depression came, and that was not good. That was not a good thing. And the only reason I'm happy that this has been found out now is that now I can fix it. I didn't cause it, because they blame you for everything. Think of it. And most of the new jobs that were created, you know about this, right? They went to migrants. Do you know that? David knows that. And I hope he's going to be your new senator, by the way. He's a good man. Because don't forget, Your senator knew all the stuff that I'm saying. He knew it. And he sat with it. He didn't say it. He didn't reveal it. He would have revealed it. He wouldn't have let me get away with it. He wouldn't have let me get away with it because it's so terrible for our country. But this senator that you have, he's been there a long time. And, you know, it's funny. When somebody's there, I told that to David, they're hard to beat. These guys have been there forever. They're survivors. That's what they're good at. They survive. They're not good senators, but they survive. They're genius at survival. They could be bad senators, and they're there for 25 years. His father was there for 25 years or something. They're not easy to beat, but you got a man here. He's a great guy, and he should be. He's a hero in many ways. Thank you. Thank you. So we got to win. I don't think there's much of a choice. I really don't believe we have a country. Those numbers, and I cut down on a lot of them, but think of that. Almost 100% of the jobs that were created went to illegal aliens, or the new term is illegal migrants. There's no nice term. Some people say, don't use illegal aliens. Oh, what should I use? Migrant. Oh, okay. They're illegal migrants. Personally, I think the word alien is